This is Kevin McDermott from Sportsbeat on Shannonside Northern Sound. And here we are in studio, and I'm joined by a journalist by day, an author by night. His topic, Roscommon football. Dan Dooner, how are you?
How's it going, Kevin? And thanks for having me.
That's it. So you've been very busy. Roscommon, game of my life. What's it all about?
Well, it's about 25 of the greatest Roscommon footballers ever to play for the county. It's 25 interviewers, or 25 interviews with those players. So it's all in their own words. The game of their life, the most memorable game. Not necessarily a win or a game that they were successful in. Some are a bit heartbreaking, but certainly 25 of the greatest players, and they've all been brilliant at giving their time, and I think anyone who reads it will enjoy. I will say that anyway.
But that's the thing, Dan, isn't it? Because you mentioned it there. So not only the great moments in their careers, but also the moments that I suppose regret in a way, that these moments that didn't work out the way they had planned. But every player you talk to, their careers are defined by those kind of moments.
Yes, certainly. For example, Danny Murray captained the 1980 All-Ireland team that went as far as the All-Ireland final and were heartbreakingly beaten by Kerry and Croke Park. Now, it took a lot of guts to talk about that, because obviously it would have been easier for Danny to talk about a game he'd won and starred in and you know, had a trophy at the end of it, but he went and spoke about that. So there's those moments. But there's a lot of Connacht titles, there's a lot of Connacht finals, there's an All-Ireland club final, there's a lot of success and a lot of happiness in the pages as well.
What I love about the book is, as a supporter, you see the game, the 70 minutes or the 60 minutes of it, whereas you're getting into the stories, you're getting into the dressing room beforehand, the bus journey beforehand, the atmosphere beforehand and during the game and after the game, and all those moments that perhaps when you're watching a match you don't see.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, the Connacht final of 2001, where they marched down to the to Hyde Park from the Abbey Hotel. You get to know, everyone, or most people, most Roscommon supporters will know about that, but they won't know the little quirky bits that were involved in the decision to go down. In terms of Tuam, they had already done that in Tuam as well in the semi-final, and there's more quirky bits there as told by Francie Grehan, who obviously is from Ballyforan, and they were playing Galway, so there's a lovely bit of an insight into the rivalry between Galway and Roscommon in that chapter, for example.
And now there's so many legends of Roscommon football you spoke to in the book. But the thing for me, of course, is 1940s, the golden era for Roscommon. But you focused from the 1970s onwards, and there's so many moments. You mentioned it earlier, Connacht finals and the like, that okay, they mightn't have an All-Ireland final to their name, but there's so many other things.
Yeah, I think we cover 1974 right up to present day. Enda Smith is the final chapter. Quite, that's quite apt because he's won an All-Star this year. And we have obviously Francie Grehan, who won the last All-Star. We have Enon Gavin, who won an All-Star in 1991. And it goes all the way back to Pat Lindsay. And they're not all, high-profile games, Kevin, either. There's some games, league games in the middle of winter down in Kerry, that showed just how much it meant to play for Roscommon, particularly back in those days when, it wasn't easy to get to Kerry by train in those days. So there's a lot of those moments that just show the love for county of these players, and I think that's the most magical thing about it.
And also characters, plenty of characters in the book.
Yeah, I said it to you before. I think, brilliant football. What a team it would be, 25, brilliant footballers. Wouldn't it be the easiest dressing room to take care of, though, I suppose. But there's loads of characters. There's loads of, the characters from the noughties as well. The likes of Shane Curran. You have, as I said, Francie. You have Frankie Dolan. You also have, top-class club player in Senan Kilbride, and he talks about a game against Nemo Rangers. I don't want to give too much away. But plenty of, and back to Tony McManus, you've Jerry Fitzmaurice. It was just a really enjoyable book to put together, because not only are they great footballers, they're great men to talk to as well, so really enjoyed it.
And speaking of which, the book is being launched next week?
Yeah, on the 8th of December in the Railway Bar in Roscommon, and a number of those players will be there on the night. So hopefully, if you've nothing better to do, come along and you'll get to meet them and have your selfies, and I might even sign your book for you.
And where can you get the book?
You can buy it on Amazon at the moment, and then from this weekend on, it will be in a number of local shops. So I'm trying to hit as many towns in Roscommon as I can, but at the moment we're Roscommon. It'll be in Strokestown and Hanley Spar. I'm trying to get north and south as well.